If you find a sharp edge, you have a little bit of pressure and a lot of dedication, you can get out of just about everything. And again, that's the point, is don't give up and don't stop trying to break free each one of these things.
The information in this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes. Our informational content cannot address all dangerous situations and cannot guarantee your survival or prevent injuries when the unexpected happens. The decision to carry a firearm, either for recreation or for personal defense, carries the risk and potential for injury and/or death. Therefore, it is advised that you seek out and acquire proper training before using a firearm or any firearm-related product.
What are some self-defense techniques?
What would happen if there was a global internet outage?
What should I do if I hear shots ringing out?
Or what I should do if there's a major terrorist attack?
What should I have? What's the best?
What should I do?
What does that look like?
What would you recommend? Is there anything I could do?
All right, guys, welcome back to Dangerous Questions. We've talked about escape and evasion before, and that's led to some other things that came out of that. Like, what happens if you get restrained? Now, that's assuming you guys have done everything that you possibly can to get out of that scenario, because we've talked about what happens when you get taken to a secondary location. We want to avoid that at all costs. I've got a breakdown here that I want to go through with you guys with the top 3 things that I think are going to be helpful for you guys. The biggest thing here, what I want you guys to take away, is giving yourself the permission to do this, to know that by never giving up and finding a solution and problem solving, you can find a way to get out of these. I'm breaking these down in 3 categories that I think are the most difficult to understand and apply value to you guys. Number 1 is zip ties. Zip ties are one of those things where it's a plastic polymer. And one of the reasons I'm bringing them up because they work extremely well. I've used them overseas. I've seen police use them overseas and here, and they are very, very challenging to get out of. One of the best ways to get out of these is to use some type of cord, some type of Dyneema Kevlar cord. I have one of these stashed in my Dynamis belt just about all the time. And the reason being is because it's so effective, it's so small, there's almost no excuse not to have it. And if I break that down a little bit and I show you guys, the way that I carry that cord is with 2 loops in the end. And this is actual shoelace. The next best thing to use instead of having a cord like this is to have some type of a shoelace on yourself or in your environment, some type of cord that you can use to burn through these things. I am weaving the cord through whatever the open area is if I'm tied up, because it's going to be very, very challenging to break these things without some type of friction. And then I use these loops to put them on my feet to use a bicycling motion to be able to snap these things free. The reason I'm bringing these up as number 1 is because they are some of the most challenging to get out of, but they're pretty easily defeated. And then this solution works across the board on a lot of other things. Number 2, duct tape. Duct tape is extremely accessible. It's in almost every home, every garage, and bad guys usually have it handy for a number of reasons. Just like we do in our own houses, they use it too. So this tactic of being able to be bound, I'm sure you've seen it out there, and if you haven't, go look it up, but you can explode out of duct tape with the right technique. Now, I will say, it gives people a false sense of security when you're doing this at home and you're having a hard time getting out of this, because I could wrap this up 50 times and you're probably not going to get out of it. Well, what am I going to go to? Exactly like I just said with the zip tie, this same technique with the lace can get through just about any type of material like this. You can cut through this stuff like butter. But it's just good to know where if that opportunity presents itself and you guys are bound up like this, you can't explode out and have that quick reaction to be able to move and break free. Now, just because I'm bound up doesn't mean that I still can't fight. And that's going to be on you guys to decide when and how to respond and act in each one of these situations. All right, guys, this episode of Dangerous Questions is brought to you by MTNTOUGH, the fitness app. These guys have been crushing, and honestly, I'm stoked to have their support. They've been doing some amazing things, and they are doing a deal right now, especially during the holidays, and everybody has their own way of looking at things. But ultimately, we need to stay disciplined, and this is a great way to do it. The MTNTOUGH app is your battlefield for building mental toughness and physical strength. This isn't just a workout program, it's a mission to forge you into a high-performing athlete. prepared for whatever comes next. Mountain Tough is so confident in this program that they're offering you a full year on the app for just $120 by using code CYBER50 at MTNTOUGH.com. That breaks down to just 33 cents a day. The other thing to think about across the board here is problem solving. Like I said in the beginning, giving yourself permission to be able to do this across the board. I did this to my son this morning, and he did one hit on his stomach. He couldn't get it, and he went right to gnawing at the tape right away to be able to get out of it. And again, that's just normal problem solving. If I look around the room, there's sharp edges everywhere. And just like the zip ties, the duct tape, or any other raw material that you have on you, if you find a sharp edge, you have a little bit of pressure and a lot of dedication, you can get out of just about everything. And again, that's the point, is don't give up and don't stop trying to break free each one of these things. The third category is the variable. The variable where you have very complex devices and mechanics, all the way to something like rope. You know, these are a tie-down strap, rope, any other variable that you guys can find yourself in. Now, I could easily saw through this being bound up, the rope being tied. I can still zip through that with some type of thread or lace. Again, that's that friction technique, and I highly recommend having something on you. But when it comes to the devices like this, there are many methods to break free from cuffs. And again, this is a universal tool. I'm not just saying this because, oh, hey, there's good guys out there carrying this tool to arrest bad people. No, I'm saying this because these exist in places where bad guys use these too. So I want good people to know how to get out of these situations right from the very beginning. There are many ways to defeat these, but I want you guys to understand for this third category is that it takes training. I've seen tier 1 guys struggle to get good reps in with this, and after a decent amount of time, they finally get good. So don't just think you're gonna go tomorrow and get out of these things without getting the reps in, without getting the training. And you know, something as simple as a bobby pin. We've all seen the technique of using a bobby pin, but is it that simple? Move in, and then release. If it's double locked, you have to go the opposite way. And if it's not, you can go back the other way. And again, what is a double lock? It's just a secondary retention. There's usually something here to keep these things locked completely so they don't shift back and forth and they don't tighten on somebody. That's usually a safety precaution just so it doesn't get extra tight and cut off your circulation. But this is just a simple bobby pin. That's all it is. You got to know a little bit of the technique about how to bend it, but this is not moving. So I'm going to hit the double lock this way and then come back around the other way and open it. Okay, so there are a lot of different techniques to do this, but you're not just gonna go pick up a bobby pin and do this. You've got to get the reps in. There's a lot of great tutorials and videos out on the internet that you guys can find to go down a deeper instructional level, but I just wanted to bring some awareness that all these things are possible. If you're watching this video, my purpose for you guys is to expand the unused part of your brain a little bit, knowing that by giving yourself permission and finding yourself in a bad situation, you need to become the asset. You need to problem solve. You need to not give up. You need to fight for your life. If you are restrained with any one of these things, I don't care what it is, you can still fight. I can still be bound up and headbutt and hammer fist and knee and clinch. In fact, the clinch is really great because if my hands are tied together, is a really tight space that I'm grabbing your neck in. So don't forget about these things that you could still apply regardless of what the situation is. The point is, I want you guys to get out alive and to be able to fight for your life with everything you have. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way. Give yourself permission. And again, this came from one of our escape and evasion videos that we did in breakdowns. So go back and watch that episode if you haven't already. And these are questions that you guys are asking. I hope you guys liked this breakdown of the top 3 things that you're gonna see, at least to give yourself an idea of what's out there. If you like this, send more questions in. You want us to see us break something else down, send it in. We appreciate everything and we appreciate your support. And again, you're continuing to become an asset. This is stuff that you can do with your family, with your children, with your wives. This is just gonna make you better and to be prepared. Give yourself that permission. This is Dangerous Questions, an Ironclad original. and I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.
We don't just do the filmmaking. We do everything. We've taken a case study of over 30 projects that we've done over the past 15 years, and we put together what we believe is the most effective and efficient content funnel for brands. They need content on a daily basis. They need to be talking to authentic end users. We want your team to bring its most challenging problems and allow us and our team to apply our proven methods to your brand to take it to another level.